What's up, guys? Welcome to Last Week in the NFL, the Divisional round. We are getting closer and closer to the Super Bowl. We only have 2 weeks left of football. College football is officially over.
Yep.
And, we had some more great games this weekend. We obviously had 4 of them. And now we know, who's maybe going to the Super Bowl. So, and it's not who I expected.
No.
I am, none of these, I'm not, entirely shocked at any of these teams, but I am pretty surprised in the Titans. And honestly, I'm probably going to start there because I owe the Titans an apology. I have pretty much, I counted them out. I thought they'd lose to the Patriots. I thought they'd lose to the Ravens. And I low-key thought they were going to get blown out both times.
Yeah.
So I have to apologize. I underestimated Mike Vrabel. I underestimated their defense, I guess. And I also somehow underestimated Derrick Henry, even though he's literally going crazy.
Yeah.
I saw something. He has the most rushing yards in a 12-game span just ever.
Really?
Yeah, just 12 straight games in a row. He has the most yards ever because obviously 2 of them are playoffs, so it's kind of weird. But yeah,
still though.
Yeah, he's been absolutely balling, as I said. I also said on last week, or I didn't even say this at the top. The Titans won 28-12, but I even said this on the recap or the preview show. I said if Ryan Tannehill throws for under 100 yards, there's no way they win. And guess what happened? He threw for under 100 yards and they won. And it's not like he was, it's not even like Derrick Henry was breaking off 70-yard runs. The Titans kind of just ground and pounded them to death, and then the defense played good. They kind of beat the Ravens the way the Ravens have been beating teams, where they pound you, they play pretty good bend don't break defense, and they get those timely turnovers. Because that's what really saved the Titans in this game was the stops on 4th and 1, the pick where Mark Andrews just hits off both of his hands at the 25-yard line, and Kevin Byard's standing right behind him.
Right.
Lamar Jackson didn't play a great game. He probably played a bad game, but he's not the reason they lost entirely. As I said, he also had a fumble, but the picks were, they weren't the best throws in the world, but it's sometimes you got to catch those. And I don't know.
I also thought the Titans did a good job kind of containing him, keeping him from, making those plays that he's been known to do all season.
Yeah, and Lamar had a lot of rush yards, but there was never a 50-yard run.
Yeah. He still got his yards, but it didn't feel like he got those yards.
Yeah, and I think he threw the ball. I think he threw it almost 60 times, or maybe it was almost 50 times. He threw it more than I think he's thrown it in any game in his career. And it didn't work out great. As I said, the Titans kind of just controlled the clock and kind of beat them. So, and let's see. Yeah, he threw 59 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 59 times, which, if
How many yards did he put up?
360.
Oh, nice.
If you told an NFL scout 3 years ago Lamar Jackson would throw 60 times in an NFL playoff game, they'd laugh in your face.
Oh yeah.
So that is pretty funny.
And I've also been hearing people coming out and say people were right about the running back, stuff.
Yeah.
Shut up, dude.
And
honestly, that's so not true.
The amount of takes I saw that were you guys really thought Lamar was better than Mahomes? It's all right, everyone was saying that. For all of you were just pulling this take out of nowhere too. Acting everyone acting like they were woke on Lamar, but it's no, you guys were literally loving him a week ago.
Right.
And if you would have won that game, you would be still doing it. So,
right.
I don't know. The Ravens, obviously a very disappointing end of their year. 14-2, all for nothing. I texted my friend that's a Raven fan. I said, you and Lamar are going to be watching the Super Bowl on TV just like me. And and my team didn't go 14-2.
Right.
So, obviously disappointing. And the MVP will be back next year, though.
Yep.
I don't know how good he'll be. I don't know if it'll necessarily be what we saw this year, the ridiculousness. But he'll be back, and he's gonna be he's gonna be a guy for a long time.
I would expect him to do it and keep improving on his passing abilities. Keep improving there, and then as long as they can retain a lot of those guys, I don't see why they can't do similar stuff next year.
Yeah, completely agree. And then with the Titans, as I said, all the credit in the world to them. They've made it to the AFC Championship after going 9-7. They got hot at the right time. And, they kind of beat, the 2 teams that everyone... the Chiefs are still there. No one really thought the Patriots were better than the Chiefs. But, they beat 2 of the teams that were, they were contenders for the Super Bowl. People wouldn't argue that. So, we'll see what they do next week.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do next week because they'll be playing the Chiefs. Because, actually, we'll go into that game right now.
Yeah.
Texans 31, Chiefs 51. And this game was insane. This game was just absolutely ridiculous. The over-under for it was 50.5, and the Chiefs covered it by themselves, scoring 51 points. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you had the under, you probably are feeling pretty bad about that. When it was 24-0 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, you're probably like, oh, well, I am actually screwed.
Yeah.
And you were, but I mean, Chiefs bettors also thought they were probably screwed at that point because I took the Texans plus 10. It was 24-0 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and I was thinking to myself, oh, this is so easy. I don't even have to watch the rest of this game. The Texans, for the last, what is it, 40 minutes of the game, just had to not get outscored by 34 points. And they got outscored by 44 points.
Yeah.
Like, that is just, it is the fourth biggest collapse in NFL playoff history.
I don't know how it's not the first, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's like the Patriots 25-point comeback.
Yeah.
The Chiefs did it to the Colts, or the other way around. One of the two came back from down like 28.
Yeah, Andrew Luck did that.
Yeah, and I think I think that one's the biggest, and there's one more up there. But yeah, I mean, an all-time collapse by the Texans. I don't know where you go here as a Texans fan. I don't know how you are supposed to feel about this season. This team. I think what you take away is that Deshaun Watson is a baller, and he makes a lot of the guys around him better. And they gotta get him some help because he's not going to be able to always pull stuff out of his butt like he did.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, even like he did against the Bills too.
Yeah. I mean, they arguably should have lost. If the Texans would have ended, if the AFC Championship would have been Texans Titans, that would have been wild.
Oh yeah.
That would have been.
Anybody would have predicted that.
No, I mean, 90% of people thought either the Chiefs or the Ravens were going to be in this game, and the Chiefs obviously made it. The Chiefs were my Super Bowl pick at the beginning of the year. They're still in it.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes lit it up. I swore he threw the same touchdown pass to Travis Kelce 3 times. They just flipped the play. I don't really know what was happening. The Texans guys, literally, Travis Kelce would get about a yard away from the sideline. He'd stop, and the Texan dude would just like overrun him to the boundary. Right. I was like, where do you think he was gonna go? And that game made me so mad to watch. I could not believe that the Texans really did that to me. I was texting my friends that bet on the Chiefs like, hey, like how you feeling about this? Because I thought I had it easy money.
Right.
But I mean, it's whatever. As I said, the Texans probably didn't deserve to be in the AFC Championship anyway. The Chiefs were the better team. I just can't believe they were ever leading 24-0.
Oh yeah.
After watching the remainder of the game. I just can't believe it.
I don't know if that's like giving, should I give a ton of credit to the Chiefs for coming back, or should I be like, how do you blow that?
Yeah, did the Texans stink and they got lucky? Did they really luck into a 24-0 start? Like is that really what happened?
Like, oh gosh.
I don't even know.
Moving on over to the NFC, first game, 49ers and the Vikings. The 49ers obviously won this game 27-10. This game honestly ended up going about as I expected it to be honest. I know I chose the Vikings plus 7, but I'm really not surprised with how this game went overall. This game was close throughout the whole first half, and then in the second we really saw the 49ers pull away. I was actually really impressed with how Jimmy G played, regardless of the fact that he threw for only 131 yards. I thought he managed the game really well. I thought he was accurate for the most part. He didn't really force anything other than that interception, and then he almost had a pick over the middle again. But I think other than that, he really just managed the game really well, which is kind of what you need to do when you have guys like Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida and just going crazy running the ball. Tevin Coleman obviously had a really good game, 22 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the Vikings, I was saying during the preview that if they wanted a chance to win this game, that Dalvin Cook would need to play well. I didn't think that you'd be able to ride Kirk Cousins' shoulders to a win, especially in a big game. And Dalvin just didn't show up. He had 9 carries for 18 yards. I'm actually really shook that it was that low. I think that just, kudos to the 49ers defense, really.
Yeah.
That front seven was attacking them all day. I think Kirk got sacked like 6 times. 6 times. Kirk got sacked 6 times. So, I mean, I really don't know what else to say.
No, I mean, and that was the X factor in this game was the pass rush for both teams.
Yeah.
Where Jimmy G, the Vikings have amazing pass rushers. They have Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin, but the 49ers kind of walled them all day. And they opened holes in the running game. And as I said, without that Jimmy G pick before the half, the Vikings they lost by 17?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was already kind of a lopsided game in the second half, and without that pick right before the half, the 49ers kind of ran them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they had to go away from Dalvin Cook super early. As you said, like, he only had 2 yards per carry, but also he only had 9 carries.
Yeah.
I would like to see, how many times he had under 10 carries in the regular season in the game where he finished.
I don't know if that has to do with, like, just the fact that they were down. They ended up getting down, and then Kirk Cousins had to throw the ball a lot, but, like, still, though, I feel like 9 carries is just not enough for them.
And I mean, the 49ers, they were kind of loading up the box, and obviously the strength of that team is that D-line. And Quan Alexander was back, and I'm sure that helped a lot.
Yep.
Because they just rotate. I mean, like, Solomon Thomas, like, comes off the bench, and he was, like, the number 3 overall pick a couple years ago.
Right.
And he, it's, like, D Ford and, what's his name? Bosa, obviously.
Yeah. I was like, it's too obvious to not.
Like, those are the fact that those are just their edges. That's not even talking about Buckner and Armstead on the inside. Like, it's literally ridiculous depth, and that's why. I mean, we'll see. I think I'd like the 49ers to keep going too. I mean, I was kind of wishy-washy on them coming into the playoffs because they didn't back into the playoffs, but they didn't play their best football at the end of the year. But this game I was like, dang. Like, that defense is not fun to play.
Having that week off probably helped them a lot, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving right on to the second game, the Packers and the Seahawks. This game was definitely a lot more interesting. I got a bunch of Chiefs vibes from this game. I was thinking, the Packers are really about to blow this one, too. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But
teams love throwing stuff into the playoffs. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was actually really impressed with how the Packers came out early. They punched the Seahawks in the mouth. I saw a Packers team that I felt like I haven't really seen throughout the entire season, really. Aaron Rodgers was playing really well. Devontae Adams just completely torched that second.
Devontae Adams had a game.
8 receptions, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I was just thoroughly impressed. Aaron Rodgers threw 16 of 27 for 243 and 2 touchdowns. Honestly, the Packers defense really showed up too. They got after Russell Wilson. I think he was running around pretty much for his life the entire game.
Yeah, he was.
I felt like he really didn't have too many plays where he was able to just sit back and throw the ball. I think they ended up sacking him 5 times, so obviously not great. And I was also saying at the beginning of last week, too, that if they wanted to win this game, Russell Wilson shouldn't be the leading rusher, and he was again.
He was the leading rusher.
He was the leading rusher again by far. And obviously a lot of that wasn't like design runs or anything. It's literally because the pocket collapsed and he had to get yards, exactly, which is bad. But no, I mean, the Seahawks, it was a close, the Seahawks were kind of hanging around at least. They had a field goal to make it a 1-possession game. I think around 5-6 minutes left in the second quarter. Josh Myers missed it, and then the Packers capitalized and made it 21-3 going into the half.
And I thought this game was over.
I thought they were going to keep blowing them out.
Halftime, I said if the Seahawks don't score a touchdown when they get the ball coming out in the third quarter, the game's over.
Yeah.
And they went down and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, whatever adjustments they made in the second half really ended up working out for them. They obviously were able to bring it 28-23 early in the fourth, and then just a stagnant fourth quarter, And then obviously you have the questionable first down from Jimmy Graham,
Yeah, that was
a weird call. It really depends on what angle you're looking at. I really didn't have a personal opinion on that.
It looked like the yellow line was in front of the marker, and every other time the yellow line is right on it. So why was in this weird instance the yellow line I know it's not official, but it's never been that wrong before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
There was definitely angles where he looked short, and then there's an angle I think right on the sideline where it was it kind of looked like he got it. Mm-hmm. And then I know a lot of people were talking about too that fumble I think on the Seahawks first or second possession.
Early.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't give that to the Packers, honestly. That looks that looks like enough evidence to me, but whatever. And honestly, probably ended up working out for the Seahawks because it might have even been an even uglier game for them because, you're giving them right back in their own side of the field. But, regardless, Packers are going to see the 49ers next week, and I'm actually really excited to see it.
Yeah, obviously, when they play in the regular season, the 49ers kind of kick their butts, so we'll see if
they can get themselves back into gear.
Yeah, see if things are a little different. And also, one last thing about this game, I think it just shows how valuable and how good Russell Wilson is. Because the Seahawks kind of had no business being in this divisional round game in general, let alone almost winning it, because Russell Wilson almost pulled this out of his butt.
He did.
So they stalled, had to punt, and then the Packers got the 2 first downs. But on first down of the set of downs they stalled on, he hit David Moore in the chest with a pass. Would have been a 13-yard gain. They would have been up to about the Packer 40. Drops it off his hands. Next play, I think he got sacked, maybe incompletion or something. They ended up having to punt, and the game ended. So, Russell Wilson's a monster. The Seahawks always have a chance with him, which is just crazy. And I mean, he's going to be like second in like the MVP, but for Lamar. But I mean, I think this game just showed how good he was. You know?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just looked fantastic too. There was some throws he was making. It's like there's literally not a better spot you can put those balls. You know, I don't know. I was really. Aaron looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. You know?
Yeah, and respect to the Packers. As I said, we'll see if they can play a little better than they did the first time against the Niners.
Yeah.
But real quick, moving on to our betting picks. We just talked about all the games, so I'm not going to talk about them, but we both went 0-2.
Fun.
So that's fun. Yeah.
Fun.
I already complained about the Texans enough, and the Ravens stink too. So, I mean, that's the end of that. And then you got screwed because plus 4.5. The Seahawks went for 2 to make it a 3-point game. They missed it. They lose by 5.
Yep.
So
very fun.
That's pretty tough. And then the Vikings, they just lost. As we said. So I hate the playoffs. I'm 0-4.
Yeah.
I am 2 weeks in, and I am 0-4 on the playoffs. So
it's been an exciting playoffs, but not for betting.
Yeah. A bunch of underdogs winning, bunch of crazy comebacks. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both the favorites next week. They'll both probably lose.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then our last college football game of the year, last night, capped off the season. We had National Championship, obviously. Clemson 25, LSU 42. And I mean, what a way to cap off the season for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was lights out like he's been the entire year. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson each had themselves a day. They're each going to be great NFL wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Burrow is the number 1 pick. Anyone saying anything else is insane. The Bengals, there's no controversy. They need a quarterback. You know,
I think they're all in on him too. Yeah.
It's not even like it was when the Cardinals had Josh Rosen last year. You know, there's no one there. This is slam dunk. Chase Young is amazing, but you have to take Joe Burrow. You have to take Joe Burrow.
He's literally coming off like the greatest college football season ever for a quarterback.
He had like 64 touchdowns.
Yeah,
total.
that's unheard of.
I mean, air raid LSU literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
too. This is wild.
Kudos
I bet
to Joe
OBJ
Brady,
is a jealous.
Props to Joe Brady, man.
Yeah. So and Trevor Lawrence played the worst game of his career, which is saying almost nothing because he was some ridiculous record. He's like 25-1 as a starter now. So he can Clemson will be fine. Trevor Lawrence is a beast. They've won 2 out of the last 4 national championships, been to 3. I mean, Clemson put up a good fight. I mean, they definitely deserve to be in the playoff. You know, people were kind of talking crap, saying they didn't, and they even after the weird win over Ohio State, which we won't go into again. Yeah, we won't go into it again. But I mean, Clemson showed that they deserved to be there. They were up 17-7 at one point on LSU before Joe Burrow just started absolutely slinging it. They scored 3 more touchdowns before the half, and then the second half was pretty boring actually. I mean, all things considered, considering as I said in a 10-minute span in the second quarter, we had 3 LSU touchdowns in the second. So, I mean, as I said, great game though. Congrats to Joe. Congrats to
Joey B.
Ed Ogeron. I mean, like, you just gotta love those guys.
Oh, you gotta love the culture down there right now, too. It's just...
Yeah, they're having so much fun down there. I'm happy for them. As I said, just didn't want to see Clemson win. Burrow's an Ohio kid, so gotta love him. First memory I ever have of a Joe Burrow. He made ESPN because in the Ohio State playoffs, he threw himself a touchdown pass.
Oh, yeah, against the Sales. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Literally threw it, got batted. Caught it, dove in just like Mariota.
Yeah.
So we've known Joe's been a baller for a bit. That's facts.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, maybe this could end up being the next dynasty in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna. I mean, kids are gonna want to go there now.
I know.
mean, that is.
I would definitely want to.
I want to go
I'm
play
all
for
in on
Coach
Joe.
Yeah,
I'm all in on Coach.
How could you not want to go play for Coach O?
I don't know.
I mean, congrats to LSU.
Yeah.
But also, Ohio State's gonna win it next year.
Yep.
Book it.
But
with that, guys, that's going to be it. Great divisional weekend. We only have 2 weeks left. We only have 3 NFL games left. Yeah. So we're really winding down, but we will see you next week.
Yeah, see you guys.